it's Phae and this is Day with Phae. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to be more confident. I've realized on a lot of my posts I get things like, oh my god, your confidence is so awesome, blah blah blah. Or even with friends, when I take pictures of them, they feel like very shy and this and that. I'm like, I understand you, I feel that way too, and a lot of people are surprised about that. By the way, timestamps are going to be in the description below for when each tip begins. So honestly with you guys, I wouldn't really describe myself as a very confident person, but when I do look at how I was 5 years ago and compare that to how I am today, I would definitely describe myself today confident and myself 5 years ago not confident. I'm gonna be super real and vulnerable with you guys today and give you things that actually have helped me become more confident along the way. So one of the things that I feel like was really hard on my confidence was my skin. I had extremely bad hormonal acne, honestly, since I was like 10, maybe a little bit earlier, and it didn't clear up until a year ago. To be honest with you guys, that was a huge factor for me. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I never wanted people to look at me. Even when I would edit these videos a year ago or more than that, I felt uncomfortable staring at my face for so long, just always consistently pointing out all my flaws. So that was a really big factor for me, is working on the things that I was so self-conscious about. My tip to you is figure out what are the things that you feel self-conscious about. Is it your skin? Is it your body? Is it your hair? Is it your work? Just really take a couple of seconds and figure that out. One of the things that I made an error on is I thought that as soon as my skin is clear, I'm gonna be happy. And I call this destination happiness. When you reach point B, you're gonna be happy. I will tell you that 9 out of 10 times that is not the case. You're not magically transformed into a completely different person once you hit point B. The main thing is to be okay with yourself throughout this journey. The thing that I didn't know when I was working on my skin to be clearer is that you have to be okay with yourself during the journey. And if you're not okay with yourself during the journey, when you reach that destination, you're not gonna be okay. And that's something that happened to me. Obviously, when my skin got clear, it did help in terms of I felt like I could be without makeup, but it just what I was self-conscious about transformed into another thing I was self-conscious about, if that makes sense. So maybe it was my hair, maybe it was my body, maybe it was just doing YouTube videos in general and just being vulnerable out in public. So really keep that in mind. Number 3, one of the most important things that I've learned throughout this past year is you have to have good self-compassion. And that's honestly something that a lot of people struggle with. And if you're like, what's self-compassion and what's the difference between that and self-confidence? Now, the way that I differentiate the two is self-compassion is kind of being your own best friend. I struggled a lot with having extremely poor self-compassion. I am really hard on myself. I used to be like a tyrant to myself, kind of just my brain was this evil boss who didn't care about your feelings or anything like that. That was the voice in my head. If I failed at something or I didn't do it the way that I had expected it would be done, I would hear in my head, you suck, you're such a failure, how could you do this, you're such a sad excuse for a human being. For most of my life, I never realized that I talked to myself like that. Be mindful of how you talk to yourself. And when you notice it, say, wait, that was my evil boss lady talking to myself. Let's figure out what my best friend self would say to myself. What would I tell a friend that I was really close to in this situation? And let me tell that to myself. So I would say something like, it's okay, everyone falls down sometimes. Everyone's imperfect. It's gonna be okay. Take some time for yourself and really relax, and don't hate yourself for needing this time to relax. So when you start changing your self-talk to that, it can be really impactful. Honestly, I'm not 100% perfect in that. I still have moments where I will catch myself having that evil boss lady talking to me, but I really have worked hard the last couple of months trying to have good self-talk, and in that way I've been really working on my self-compassion. I think it's hard to be truly confident, individual, not the fake it until you make it kind of thing. It's really hard to be genuinely confident in your work and who you are as a person if you don't have self-compassion. I would argue that it is near impossible. That brings me to my next point. You should take some time for yourself every single day. I would say at least start with 5 minutes a day and increase it every week by another 5 until you reach 30 minutes a day. So at least 30 minutes a day, you have you time. This you time is not exercise time. This you time is you doing something that you enjoy that is just you. It can't be exercise, you can't be on your phone, and it can't involve other people. That could be like reading your favorite book, coloring, crocheting, taking a walk around a park. That's okay, as long as it's not like a rigorous exercise. Just being alone with your thoughts. I think that really helps cultivate being okay for yourself and looking out for yourself. And I think that this stuff is like your foundational groundwork for having good confidence. The next thing to realize is that this is a problem that many people face. This is not something that you're going through alone. And when you realize the commonality of this feeling, it kind of lessens the load on your shoulders. At least that's what it does for me. So anytime I feel so stupid in front of the camera, I feel so stupid having my husband take pictures of me in a public setting. But when I feel that feeling, I say to myself, a lot of people have this like fear in front of a camera or feel ridiculous, and maybe some people do think you're ridiculous, but they walk by and they forget you 10 minutes later, and it's okay. The next thing that I like to do personally is sometimes I like to channel a kind of a persona, kind of like how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. I like to channel this person who loves to pose and lives for it, and this is her work, like whatever. It's kind of a little bit like acting. That's one thing that I've really noticed helps me a little bit. Another tip that I have is to embrace failure. Really embrace it. Failure is a part of life. Like every single inventor, every single business that is out there, they've had their moments of failure, their moments where they could have been a little bit better. But the thing that makes successful businesses and successful ideas is learning to pick yourself up and find a new iteration that works for you. So you will fail. Things won't be perfect, and that's okay. Like it really is. Failure is a part of progress. Failure is a part of success. Failure is a part of life. And when you embrace failure, you're embracing new opportunities, things that you would normally shy away from. And along the same vein, if you're trying something the first time, it's not gonna go perfect. It's not gonna be this like groundbreaking thing, most likely. When I made my first YouTube video, it wasn't perfect. It had flaws, and I knew that going in. I was like, I'm just gonna post it because I've been so scared of posting a video, and I've been so scared of failing and not being 100% happy with what I put out there, that it's almost just like this huge roadblock, and I'm never going to get over that roadblock unless I just do it. So sometimes you need to just do it and realize it's not going to be perfect, and it's a work in progress. Most of life is a work in progress. So this one's kind of like a hand in hand. Find the things that support you and eliminate the things that don't. So try to surround yourself with people that are very supportive, are uplifting of your ideas, because you know, we already talk so badly to ourselves typically that we don't need like an outside person to also manifest into that. Also realize it is a two-way street. It's good to support your friends. It's good to uplift them. If someone has a cute outfit, tell them they have a cute outfit. Tell your friends they have a cute outfit. Support their local businesses. Support them. Like, be there for them. Be the friend that you want. That's something that I always live by. And I always try to uplift the people close to me and be a rock for them. I think that when you uplift rather than detract all the time, you just feel all around better. The next tip that I have is it's okay to be vulnerable. I feel like a lot of us feel like it's difficult to share our trepidation, share our innermost thoughts, and feel uncomfortable kind of being your real self, whether that be with friends, family, or with your significant other. There are gonna be people in your life that you can't always be 100% with, no matter how hard you try. In some instances, you can't eliminate those people because they're always going to be in your life, and that's okay. Just kind of like limit yourself. But with the people that you spend so much time with, like your significant other, your best friends, you should be able to be your vulnerable self. So try it. And if they don't mesh well with it, I think that is a huge red flag to you, but you can find people that you do mesh well with. And I noticed that when you wear your heart on your sleeve, you attract other people who wear their heart on their sleeve as well. Life is just too short to not be genuine, like really. And I didn't realize this until I was at the lowest point in my life, where I was in a facility, a mental facility, because I was viewed as like a danger to myself. And I looked all around me and I was like, man, so many people are suffering that I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna wear my heart on my sleeve. I was so real with so many people, like just neighbors, like, oh, hey, I just met you once. Let's just talk about what's going on. Like, you're asking me how I am. I'm telling you actually how I am. I'm struggling. And same with teachers. And it was really refreshing. I did distance myself from some friends that I just felt like my heart on my sleeve self didn't mesh with them. And that's okay. That happens. I think that is part of embracing your genuine self, and it's okay. I think the goal is just to find people that you can be real with. And if you can't be real with them, then they really shouldn't be close to your life. My last tip is find something that you have fun with. Something that you don't have to post about, something that is just genuinely like a release for you. And it's okay if you don't have one, because I know for some people they don't know what is like a fun hobby to them, and that's okay. I would just write down a bunch of hobbies to try, and maybe try 1 or 2 classes of it and see how you feel, but also knowing that you're not going to be perfect, and it's not about being perfect, it's just about doing it and finding what brings you joy. For me, it's music, whether that's me singing or writing music or even like going to a concert. That's something that really transcends my mood and makes me feel really whole. It's something that I'm always going to do if there's no social media. It's something that I intrinsically find so much joy in. And as another example, my husband is a huge basketball fanatic, and he just finds so much joy in really moving his body in that way. But he does not find joy in always moving his body. Like, he doesn't like dancing, he doesn't like, running. It's not his thing. Basketball is something so different. It's really powerful when you find a hobby that you love, I think, and it can really help build your confidence the more you do it, because obviously you're not going to be perfect. But I remember the first song that I could play on guitar is just like a crazy high, and I'm sure when Mike first dunked, it was like an amazing thing. It's just your mood starts to elevate with all these new levels that you encounter in your hobby. So I hope that this helps you guys in being more confident and being more happy in general as individuals. And just know that you will have downs and you're not going to be 100% perfect. I'm not 100% confident like in everything, every facet of my life. Like, it is a work in progress. I still feel insecure AF about my stretch marks and my thighs, and that's okay. Like, things are not gonna happen overnight. And just know that you are so much more than your physical self. And I genuinely hope that these tips help you guys out, and I hope you have a really good rest of your day. If you want to talk about anything at all, comment down below. If you have any questions or want to share tips of your own that have helped you, comment down. Let's have an open discussion about this. Bye, guys.